Searching for a good used truck is painful. Prices are at all-time highs for both new and used trucks. With us being in the market searching for utility and ruggedness, it made us question, can you still find cheap, reliable used trucks out there? We set out to do just that.
I bought the smallest truck at the auction, a 1997 Nissan hardbody pickup. And I bought one of the largest trucks at the auction, a 1997 Dodge Ram 3500 Cummins dually. Compensating for something there, bud? No? You know, that thing can't even haul a lawnmower. That thing can't even haul your mom around. Why did you decide to buy the 3500? It's a little overkill, don't you think? It might be a little overkill, but I was looking for something that is reliable, questionable, and is able to comfortably tow a car and other projects around. So that's what I'm looking for. What excuse did you tell your wife on this one? So I need this thing to pretty much just go to a dump, take care of stuff, go to Home Depot. I just need a truck bed, and I wanted something cheap, reliable, four-wheel drive. And I know these Nissans and I like them. It was a good deal, it was a good match. Yeah, unfortunately I don't know anything about diesels, so I just went head first into it. The one thing these trucks have in common is that they're both cheap.
So how much you pay for yours?
I paid $4,500 for it.
And I did $1,100. This is what $1,100 got me. 190,000 mile KA24E 5-speed manual with 4-wheel drive. I was able to scope out the lot the day before the auction and was even able to start it up, and it ran nicely. AC also works, which is an absolute godsend in the Virginia summers, and very impressive given the condition of the rest of the truck. The inside is normal used truck, dirty but can be cleaned up, with a lot of what you touch worn out or broken. Driver's seat is torn, which is almost a must given the age, and the shifter feels like it's in neutral in every gear. The jump seats are stuck where they are because of the aftermarket speakers, but all I'm seeing are benefits. Plenty of space behind the seats for tools and gear storage, and nobody's going to ask you for a ride. Radio with Bluetooth and aftermarket speakers that actually sound pretty good. And a dead nuts reliable 4-cylinder with manual everything. No electrics to go bad on you. And besides the rusted bed and small front end bends, it's complete and has good bones. And yeah, there is some rust, but I would consider this a quote-unquote New England rust-free. 4,500 got us this Dodge Ram 3500 Cummins 4x4 dually. This Dodge has clearly lived its whole life on a farm. The paint is faded with the cab and fenders fighting rust like all other Dodges from the era, so it looks pretty ugly, with the interior not too far behind, with it being home to the mouse version of Dirty Mike and the Boys. There are so many oil leaks it makes the Exxon Valdez look like a spill in a kiddie pool, which provided the added benefit of rust proofing underneath. On the way back to the house, we found out that there was something seriously wrong with the steering, and any other truck, this beat and worn out, it would have been put out to pasture, with its only saving grace being the engine doesn't have a Mopar badge. 256,000 miles and it's just broken in, this engine bay is complete, and even more impressively, no signs of any aftermarket pillar pod gauges or tuning done, which gave us just a little bit more confidence to bid on it. But besides that, it runs, it drives, it stops, just steers and shakes all over the road. But it's nothing that can't be fixed.
Now, yours was last inspected in 422. 420. Mine was 818. I might have some deferred maintenance to go through. Yeah. Can we even get these inspected? How much is it going to cost to get them to pass? Our ultimate goal here is to turn these two clapped out trucks into something reliable that we can both use and do it in a somewhat fun way. We'll see if you're having fun. Always fun learning new things. Yep.
Yeah. I can already tell a lot is worn out and needs a lot of deferred maintenance, but the only thing I'm seeing that would fail inspection are the tires. They are dry rotted to hell and need replacing bad. So that is my plan. Get new tires, send it over to the inspector, and see if they find anything else, and hopefully pass first try. Our plan is for David to fly back down when all the parts have arrived, spend all weekend working on it, and then drive it up to New Hampshire. For this to work, there are 3 things that absolutely need to get done: tires, steering box, and interior deep cleaned. The first leg of the trip is a 100-mile shakedown run across Virginia where he can stay and work to get the rest of the items labeled in red accomplished. Be sure to subscribe for part 2 to see if he even makes it. Besides that, let's get to work. Yes, I know that someone watching is a total nerd on detailing and screaming I'm doing it wrong, but this truck has never seen soap and there is no clear coat left, so it doesn't matter. Well, as you saw, this truck is pretty filthy, so now it's time to clean it up. The main goal is to be able to drive this truck from here in Virginia up to New Hampshire, which is a pretty long trip, and you might overdose on mouse poop in here. This needs to be cleaned up, and it's just not healthy. I want to be able to pull this carpet out and power wash it. In reality, you should just get a new one, but in the interest of time, I just want to power wash it, just clean a lot of the filth out, and then we'll deal with it from there. The closer I look, the more mouse turds I find. This truck is a rolling biohazard. These need to get vacuumed up so I don't get rained on by mouse turds when I'm removing the seats, which was very easy, just heavy as hell doing it all alone. While vacuuming, I found some change, which was nice, and I really don't think this carpet was ever vacuumed in its life either. Alright, this still looks rough, but it's definitely a lot better than it was before. I'm really excited to see how dirty this water is after the Carpet-Vac. Simple green, microfiber, and this is going to go everywhere on all these plastics in here. Because I can just see covered in mouse piss. We ended up wiping down the interior panels and plastics multiple times, as once was simply not enough with how dirty it was. The dirt was coming off in layers like an onion. Alright, I've got the rented carpet cleaner here, and the seats behind me are out, so I'm trying to do these. These seats have to be back in the car tomorrow morning, so hopefully with the sunlight it'll dry out. And we're not pulling the carpet out, we're just going to be carpet vacuuming as it is from inside the car, and we'll see how much of the mouse smell we can get out. I'm very impressed with how well this Carpet-Vac is working. I can only imagine how many spitters have been knocked over into the seats. There are cigarette burn holes in the driver's seat, so some of this brown is definitely nicotine. The truck also came with seat covers, and those got put in the wash on sanitized and cleaned up nicely. This carpet looks a lot better than it did before.
Now it's not perfect, and I don't expect perfection given how bad it was, but I can't believe that this section here actually turned gray-ish again. And over there it looks pretty good. Obviously where feet are, it's still brown. And this area, brother's not paying me enough to really work on it too hard, so this will be good enough. Got the truck in the garage, and first thing I'm going to do is replace the steering box. The steering box now actually has a lot of play in it, and it's causing a lot of side to side in the steering wheel. We're going to replace it with this unit from Redhead. We're going to see how it goes. Oh, that was a lot looser than I expected. That nut really was hand loose, which was concerning. And yes, David's grip strength really is that strong. Once all the lines, steering linkages, sway bar, arms are all disconnected, dropping the box is easy. No way I was gonna catch that with one arm. With the purchase and installation of new tires, we could have gotten a complimentary alignment. Except the mechanics told us the whole front end is so worn out, it wouldn't do us any good anyways. But if we brought it back, they'd be willing to honor the alignment. That means today, we're working hard to get the steering box done, and then tomorrow, try and piece together a front end from all the local parts stores. Installation is straightforward, just a reverse a disassembly. At the same time, we went ahead and installed new high and low pressure steering hoses. So what, David, status report. How do you like working on the Dodge so far?
It's great. Having the time of my life. Oh, God damn it. My arms look juicy at least. Nice and greased up. Like I'm show ready.
Yeah, you ready for a show? If they held one in the engine bay.
Can't see shit. We went ahead, torqued down all the hardware, led the system, and now we can test drive it to see how much of a difference the new box makes. Alright, start it up.
So much of wandering, drivability issues.
Yeah.
So far.
We'll see. Maybe we'll make it to the gas station and get some diesel. And success. Nothing fell off. Steering feels better, but it's not quite there yet. The alignment and linkages should really be the rest it needs. Time to get some rest and start early tomorrow morning. Previous owner was already kind enough to do half the job for us in replacing these sway bar and links, and he gave us the parts.
Blasted.
One side went in easy, the other side not so much. Bolt head was on the wrong side to pull it out, so the option was either drop the fuel tank or remove the whole bracket. The bracket was the clear choice.
Yeah.
In terms of running the lines. This tie rod was the worst offender. After running around all morning, hitting up every parts store, we were finally able to collect all the parts needed to replace the steering components.
There you go.
Oh, it's free. Off the truck, we can piece together the new tie rod and try and preset the length. Luckily, this job can be done with both wheels still on the ground, so the alignment will be good enough for a quick test drive and drive back to the shop for a final alignment. These steering stabilizers were absolutely destroyed. This ram and body were actually both bent.
Castle nut. Where is it? Come on. No, I don't think so.
With everything in place, we can finally torque down all the nuts, install the cotter pins, and go for a test drive.
And no shaking, right?
And no shaking. Definitely helped out. And it doesn't like.
Oh, now there's kind of a shake.
Now a little bit. It's definitely not as bad as before. All right, we arrived. Dinner time, success.
Well, this past week, we managed to get 3 major accomplishments crossed off of what we wanted, which were new steering box, new tires, and the interior cleaned up. Yeah. But as projects have it, they quickly snowball out of control. And what else do we do? Well, the tire shop offered free alignments if you purchase tires from them. So we try to take them up on that offer. Take them up on the offer, and they said your steering is pretty jacked up, and we can't do the alignment for you. So spent all day hopping around parts stores and getting parts and tools. Completely redid the steering. So new tie rods, drag link, and pretty much anything that has for anything that has a ball stud got replaced. Yeah. So we got the alignment done, and now it drives a lot better. Yeah, because before it was like school zone speed limits and you're any other lane, and it was awful. This was genuinely unsafe at any speed. Yeah. But now we tested it at about 60, 65, and now it's pretty good. And you're gonna do the first part of a shakedown. Yep, we'll take it about 100 miles west or east from Western Virginia to more central Eastern Virginia. So that'll be the first leg of the journey. Make sure this thing doesn't break down on the way up to New Hampshire. Yeah, and we got a couple more parts. Oh, you have a couple more parts waiting for you that you're gonna install and make the trip a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, got new shocks on the way. The ride, pretty bouncy with the old stuff. So new shocks are gonna be installed before the trip to New Hampshire. So yeah, we'll see if it makes it. Yeah, nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop this guy. Yeah. All right, time to go over some numbers. The initial purchase price of the truck was $4,500, and I spent a total of $2,706 on parts. There are a couple really big ticket items that I bought, and that was the tires coming in at $1,350 and the steering box coming in at $506. So that means all the other miscellaneous parts was around $850. It did take about 12 hours of labor in total to work on this truck and get it street ready and safe, with about 4 hours of that being cleaning and then the other 8 being just purely mechanical work. Coming in at around $7,000, I think this truck is a pretty good value. It's incredibly capable, and now that I've done all the work to it, it's mechanically sound. So I think it would be pretty hard to find a truck in similar condition with similar miles and everything else for this kind of price. In my area, New England, trying to find a truck that's not rotted out, again, it's a diesel 4x4 second gen, you'd be looking at over $10,000 easily for one. With that in mind, that makes it a pretty good value. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. If there's anything that you liked or disliked about how we showed things, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know if you actually think we got a good deal on that Dodge 3500. And be sure to subscribe for part 2. We're going to be going over this Nissan hardbody, what it took to get legal, inspected, drivable, and fix a lot of small issues that I'll go over in part 2. And until then, have a good one.